Alright, so lockdown is this Sunday. I said last week I wasn't going to order it, and I'm not. TNA screwed that pooch up the ass. I think the build up to this pay per view has been atrocious. Going into the go home show this week, they only had, I think, 3 matches announced. And this is one of their biggest pay per views of the whole year. I mean, to only have 3 matches announced by the go home show is just pathetic. And the worst part about that is that the show wasn't even booked in such a way where you could at least guess what the rest of the card was going to be. I mean, first, I thought they were going to do Tara versus Daphne, but then Tara started to feud with Angelina again, and then Angelina won the title, and Angelina's feuding with Velvet, and then they sort of combined those two feuds for some reason, and now it looks like Tara might be turning heel, which would be cool. Except I have this horrible feeling that she might cost Angelina the Knockouts title a lockdown. So then we'd have one of the beautiful people as the Knockout singles champ, which would just be so horrible. I don't even want to think about it. And I don't even know where the hell Daphne disappeared to. I mean, she had that feud with Tara. It was going pretty well, and then she's just gone. I mean, the feud just ends after Daphne gets punked out by Lacey Von Erich, and good lord, could they have come up with a bigger fuck you to Daphne than writing her off TV after a beating from Lacey? Good lord, that poor woman. Um, also, I thought the Motor City Machine Guns were going to get their tag title shot at Lockdown, but then the Guns started to feud with 3D over the title shot. So then I thought it would be the Guns versus 3D for the title shot at Lockdown. But then from out of nowhere, 3D starts to feud with the band for some reason. I don't know why. Apparently, we're getting the band instead of the Nasty Boys, which is really not that much of an improvement if you think about it. They never even mentioned the X Division Escape match, and I kept wondering about that. And now it turns out that they're not even going to do one this year. Apparently, because the band needs to be in 2 matches. So yeah, that's why I'm not ordering this pay per view. What are your reasons? Probably pretty similar to mine. I mean, I'll stream it or download it or something, and maybe if I even care enough by then, I'll come on here and tear this pay-per-view a new asshole. Anyway, Impact this week was pretty good, surprisingly. I mean, it was 1,000 times better than that horror show we got last week. Of course, it was not hard to top last week's show. Let's be honest. Um, there actually was some pretty good hype for some of the matches. Lethal Lockdown mainly, they pushed that one a lot. And they made it look like a big deal and everything, so that was good. But this whole storyline bothers me. I mean, they keep saying that Team Flair has such a huge upper hand in this feud, but Desmond Wolfe and Beer Money have been jobbing all over the place to Team Hogan. I mean, the heels have gotten the edge outside of the matches, and they did look dangerous on this show at least, but that's really not the same thing. I mean, Hogan's team has definitely been booked a lot stronger. No surprises there, right? And I'm really afraid that they're going to go over on Sunday, even though they really shouldn't, because Wolf and Beer Money need that win a lot more. Maybe they'll do something with Bischoff and he'll help them get the win, because they're teasing that this Hogan Bischoff power struggle is going to move to the next stage at Lockdown, so hopefully something will happen with that. And, oh yeah, holy shit. We had some wrestling this week, folks, and it was good. We got Kaz versus Shannon Moore, which was a great match, and it actually went 10 minutes. They went to a time limit draw. I can't even remember the last time an X Division match on Impact went 10 minutes. Doug Williams was great on commentary. He was very entertaining. Great segment all around, and you know what? I'm excited for that match now. The Motor City Machine Guns actually got their tag title shot this week against Matt Morgan and Amazing Red, strangely enough. This pissed me off. I mean, why on earth would you have Sabin and Shelley nearly kill themselves in an awesome Ultimate X match at Destination X to earn a tag team title shot if you were just going to throw it away in an unadvertised TV match that was more about Matt Morgan than anything else? I mean, TNA does this a lot. I mean, they'll have somebody go over huge on pay-per-view, winning a title shot, and then the writers will just piss it away on TV and they'll move on to something different. why even have them win the title shot in the first place? What is the point? I mean, you just made that Ultimate X match retroactively meaningless. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they were still getting a shot at Lockdown, but none of these guys are even on the card. I mean, the, the match was great, and it went almost 10 minutes, but why couldn't we get this at Lockdown like we should have instead of 3D versus the band with 2 weeks of build-up? I mean, this match wouldn't have had a lot of build-up either, but at least it would have been a good match. And also, they really haven't done a good job with the Pope. I mean, he's headlining Lockdown against AJ for the world title, and you really wouldn't know that from how little screen time they both got, or didn't get for the last month. I mean, as it is, I really would not be surprised at all if Lethal Lockdown goes on last, and it probably should at this point. And, I know it sounds like I'm being really critical of this show, but I did actually like a lot of the stuff we got this week. We had some good wrestling. We had longer matches than normal. Some good storyline progression in some feuds. That fireball spot on Jeff Hardy was really sick. Holy crap, that was a jaw-dropping moment. It was a good show in that it managed to hype up every match at Lockdown in some way. Not perfect, but hell, compared to last week, this was freaking Shakespeare. Also, I don't know if you guys watched that reaction show that aired before Impact at 7 o'clock. I watched it, and honestly, I thought it was really, really good. I mean, this was like a UFC presentation in a lot of ways, like those Before the Bell specials that they do, which are also great. I love the whole backstage worked shoot footage. It was serious, compelling, hyper realistic. It felt like a real sporting event almost. And god damn it, this is what Impact needs to be like. Seriously, this reaction show did a better job of selling Lockdown than anything they've done on Impact in the last month. I want to see the philosophy that they use to produce this show take that same worked shoot realism and incorporate it into Impact. I think if they could do that, they would really have something. But anyway, Lockdown is this Sunday. The card looks really weak to me. This is not an acceptable Lockdown card at all, in my opinion. Kevin Nash versus Eric Young is going to be horrible. Hall and Waltman versus 3D is going to be horrible. The Beautiful People versus Tara and Angelina. Why? Why are we getting this, TNA? Why? What have the Beautiful People ever shown that makes you think they can deliver a good cage match? I mean, Tara and Angelina, okay, that's alright. You can put them in there. But the Beautiful People are not going to produce anything good in this thing. Even if they were up to the task, which they're not, their gimmick practically forbids them from having a good cage match. So what do you think is going to happen here? I'm sorry, but Velvet Sky in a cage match is just something that shouldn't happen on general principles. And of course, no X Division escape match. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. So I'll stream it or download it on Monday or something. In the meantime, please check out the blog, tnathreshold.blogspot.com. I've got some new stuff on there, a lot of new stuff actually. I just posted the usual pay-per-view preview blog. This is something I do every month where I examine all the matches and feuds and determine who should go over, not who will go over, because everyone does that, but who should go over based on who needs the win the most and who would benefit the most from going over, stuff like that, I really like doing this because, I can just go into a lot more detail and do things that that just couldn't come out in my videos because, well, they just couldn't for time constraints and whatnot. So that's one of my favorite features that I have on there. Also, I've got some commentary about that lockbox striptease angle from last week and the implications of it. Had a lot to say about that one. So check that out too, please. It's the blog titled "Shame on You, Dixie." You can pretty much guess what that means. Got it that time. There's also another one I'm writing called "Market Wrestling, Not Sex." That should be up pretty soon too. So please check that out. Comments are appreciated. Anyway, you know what? I've bitched about this long enough, and I'm kind of running out of time here. There's more movie reviews coming up pretty soon. I think I'll definitely do one for Kick-Ass, probably one for Iron Man 2 as well. So watch out for those, and I'll see you guys next week. Later.